Welcome to the Prepper Almanac. Thank you for joining us today. It is deeply appreciated. In today's video, we are going to discuss the top 30 tools preppers will need in order to be self-sufficient and ready for any scenario. And if I give you value in today's video, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I would appreciate it. Also check out the link in the description below to some offers for free prepper items and prepper gear that I have come across. Some of them are pretty cool, so check out that link at your convenience. Today we're diving headfirst into the wild world of survival preparedness. Being ready for anything isn't just about stockpiling beans and bandages, it's about having the right gear to handle whatever Mother Nature throws at you. In a prepper scenario, the unexpected is the norm, so you best believe we're equipping ourselves for success. We're talking fire, shelter, water, the essentials of staying alive. This isn't some camping trip, folks. This is about being self-sufficient, resourceful, and ready to face anything. During today's discussion, we'll break down each tool, its uses, and why it's crucial for any serious prepper. So strap in, get ready to learn, and remember, survival is about preparation meeting opportunity. Let's get started. First up, we're tackling the king of versatility, and that's the multi-tool. This is your pocket-sized toolbox, packed with more functionality than a Swiss Army knife factory. Pliers for gripping, twisting, and extracting splinters, a good blade for cutting cordage and tough materials. Many multi-tools come with a fire starter, screwdrivers, bottle openers, and tiny saws. They have endless possibilities. Don't leave home without it. Next up is a true survival icon, and it's the survival knife. This isn't your average kitchen utensil. A robust, reliable blade for carving, defending, and more. Look for full-tang construction for strength. A good grip is crucial. Remember, a sharp knife is a safe knife. Keep it honed and ready. Never use it as a pry bar or hammer. Treat it with respect, and it will serve you well. Remember, the weather can always turn on a dime. You need to be ready for anything. That's why a fire starter is essential, a true game changer. Forget rubbing two sticks together like they show in the movies. In a true prepper scenario, you need something reliable, something that'll work even if your hands are shaking from the cold or you're drenched from the rain. A good fire starter, like a ferro rod, will give you a shower of sparks hotter than the sun, capable of igniting even damp tinder. Get yourself some cotton wool, dry grass, birch bark, anything that'll catch a spark easily. Remember, fire is more than just warmth. It's a beacon of hope, a morale booster, and essential for cooking any food you manage to scavenge. So keep that fire starter close, it could save your life. We all know water is life, right? In a prepper scenario, finding clear, drinkable water isn't always easy. Streams might look pristine, but they could be riddled with nasty microbes just waiting to give you a bad stomachache. That's why a good water filter is your best friend in an uncertain situation. It's like magic, turning murky, potentially dangerous water into a source of life. I'm talking about filters that remove bacteria, protozoa, even microplastics. You've got options like pump filters, gravity filters, even straw filters. Each one designed to remove those microscopic nasties that could leave you sidelined with a bad case of giardia. Remember, staying hydrated is crucial for survival. A water filter ensures you can drink from almost any source, giving you the energy to keep going when the going gets tough. Accidents will happen. It's the name of the game when you're pushing your limits in a prepper situation. One minute you're scaling a rocky ridge, the next you're staring at a nasty gash on your leg. A well-stocked first aid kit is your insurance policy against the unexpected. We're talking bandages for cuts and scrapes, antiseptic wipes to clean wounds, pain relievers for those throbbing aches, and blister plasters for those long hikes. But don't just pack it, learn how to use it. Knowing basic first aid can be the difference between a minor mishap and a life-threatening situation. Practice makes perfect, so brush up on your skills before venturing out. Remember, being prepared for the worst is just as important as hoping for the best. A first aid kit gives you the tools to handle whatever the wild throws your way, allowing you to stay in the game and keep pushing forward. We've covered the essentials for sustenance and safety, but now let's talk about Paracord. This isn't your average rope. It's tough and can handle incredible weight. Imagine navigating dense woodland, and your backpack gets snagged. Paracord could save your gear. Need to build a shelter? Paracord. Need a fishing line? Paracord. Hang food high? Paracord. It's like the duct tape of the wilderness. Trust me, you don't want to be without it. In an uncertain situation, when the sun dips below the horizon, darkness descends quickly. Navigating through dense forest in the pitch black is dangerous. A reliable flashlight becomes your lifeline. You need a torch with serious power to illuminate your path. Facing a wild animal, you want a light that makes you the alpha. In an emergency, a few flashes can signal for help. Choose a durable waterproof flashlight with rechargeable batteries. When darkness falls, you need a light you can depend on. We've talked about the importance of being self-sufficient in a disaster or general prepper scenario, but sometimes you need a lifeline to the outside world. That's where a good emergency radio comes in. It can be a literal lifesaver. Think of it as your connection to civilization. Stay tuned to the world even in a stressful situation, and be sure to get a hand crank radio. A hand crank radio operates by converting mechanical energy from turning the crank into electrical energy. This means it doesn't require batteries or an external power source, which is especially useful during emergencies or in areas with unreliable electricity. We're deep in essential survival gear. When the unexpected hits, don't be caught off guard. A compass is your new best friend. Forget GPS, get back to basics as GPS may be down in a prepper scenario. A compass guides you when the path vanishes. North, south, east, or west, it points the way for you. Disorientation can be a killer, but a compass gives you a fighting chance. You need a sturdy, reliable compass. Learn to use it properly. Practice makes perfect. Get one, learn it, love it, and it might save your neck. Alright, we're talking versatility here. Duct tape is practically currency in a survival pinch. This silver wonder can do it all. Ripped your jacket? Duct tape. Need a splint? Yep, duct tape. Improvise a shelter? You got it, duct tape. It's pretty straightforward. Just pack some duct tape in your kit and get creative. We live in a modern world that is reliant on technology. In a prepper scenario, you can't always count on a power outlet. That's where the beauty of a solar charger comes into play. The sun is a constant source of energy. A solar charger keeps your essential electronics alive. Phones, GPS units, headlamps, these can be lifelines. Having a charged phone for emergency calls can be the difference between a good story and a bad ending. Alright, we're pushing on with our essential survival gear, and this next item is a real game changer. We're talking about a good, sturdy, folding shovel. Trust me, you don't want to be caught in a prepper scenario without one. In these situations, a shovel is more than just a digging tool. It's your key to creating shelter, digging for water, even defending yourself if you need to. Remember, surviving in uncertain situations is all about adapting and overcoming. Now, you want a shovel that's compact and lightweight, something you can easily pack in your gear, but it also needs to be tough enough to handle digging in hard-packed soil or rocky terrain. Believe me, when you need it most, a flimsy shovel is as good as useless. Look for one with a hardened steel blade and a comfortable, non-slip grip. And remember, practice makes perfect. Get used to handling your shovel before you find yourself relying on it in a survival situation. The next item on our list is a real workhorse, and it's the hatchet. In a survival situation, a good hatchet can be your best friend. We're talking about processing firewood, building shelters, even clearing a path through dense undergrowth. A hatchet gives you the power and precision you need to tackle those bigger jobs in a disaster situation. Now, when choosing a hatchet, you want something that's well balanced and comfortable to swing. The weight should feel good in your hand, not too heavy, not too light. Remember, safety first. Always wear gloves and eye protection when using a hatchet, and never swing it towards yourself or anyone else. Treat it with respect, and it will serve you well when you need it most. You might be surprised to see this one on the list, but trust me, a simple sewing kit is an absolute must-have in any survival situation. It's not just about looking good out here, it's about staying functional. Out in the elements, your clothes and gear are your first line of defense. A rip in your jacket or a tear in your backpack can quickly escalate from minor inconveniences to major problems. That's where a sewing kit comes in. A needle and some strong thread can be used to repair rips, reinforce seams, and even create makeshift bandages in a pinch. It's all about resourcefulness, using what you have to solve problems, and stay ahead of the game. So, pack a small sewing kit, it might just save your skin one day. Even with the best gear, sometimes you'll find yourself in a situation where you need to signal for help. That's where this little guy comes in, the whistle. Don't underestimate its power. Out in the middle of nowhere, a shout can only travel so far, but a good, strong whistle? That can carry for miles, cutting through wind and foliage. It's a lifeline in a tight spot, especially if you're injured and can't shout for long periods. Remember, 3 sharp blasts is the universal distress signal. Keep that whistle close at hand, and practice using it. You never know when it might be the only thing standing between you and being found. We've talked about finding clean water, but staying fed is of course just as crucial. That's where a good fishing kit comes in handy. It doesn't have to be fancy, mind you. Just the basics like some hooks, line, and maybe a few lures. You see, rivers and lakes are teeming with protein. A well-placed hook and a bit of patience can be the difference between a full stomach and an empty one. Remember, improvisation is key. Insects, worms, even berries can make tempting bait for a hungry fish. Now I've been known to eat things that would make your stomach churn, but trust me, a freshly caught fish cooked over an open fire, that's a meal fit for a king, or at least a very hungry prepper. So pack that fishing kit and learn the basics. It might just save your skin. Shelter is everything, especially in a prepper scenario or even a complete societal collapse. The elements can turn on you in an instant, and believe me, you don't want to be caught unprepared. That's where a simple tarp becomes your best friend. Don't let its basic appearance fool you. A tarp is incredibly versatile. It can be strung up between trees for a quick lean-to, laid over branches for a makeshift tent, or even used to collect rainwater. Remember, the key is to be resourceful. Look around your environment for natural features that can enhance your shelter. Use rocks and logs to secure the edges and make sure it's angled properly to shed rain and wind. A well-built tarp shelter can provide crucial protection from the elements and give you a fighting chance in a survival situation. We're talking survival essentials, and in an uncertain situation, knowledge is power. That's where a good pair of binoculars come in handy. Think of them as your eyes in the sky. Whether you're scouting for a safe route, assessing potential dangers from afar, or tracking down that elusive water source, binoculars give you a crucial edge. Preparation is key, and these babies let you assess the situation. You don't need anything fancy, just a sturdy, reliable pair. Look for good magnification and clarity. A good view can make all the difference. We're playing a game of inches in the wild. Knowing what's coming before it hits you. Every advantage counts. We use our hands for everything, right? They're our most valuable tool. Now, imagine trying to build a fire, chop wood, or even climb a rocky ridge with blistered, cut-up hands. Not a pretty picture, is it? That's why a good pair of gloves is non-negotiable in my book. They're your first line of defense against the elements, protecting your hands from cuts, scrapes, burns, and even those nasty blisters. Look for gloves that are tough, durable, and offer a good grip. Leather is a solid choice, providing excellent protection and dexterity. If you're facing colder climates, consider insulated gloves to keep those fingers warm and nimble. Remember, your hands are your lifeline out here. Treat them right, protect them, and they'll see you through thick and thin. We rely on our sight for everything. It's how we navigate, identify dangers, and find the resources we need to survive. Now, imagine losing your sight because of a stray twig, flying debris, or even a dust storm. That's why I never venture out without a good pair of safety goggles. They're not just for the workshop, folks. These bad boys protect your eyes from all sorts of hazards, from flying splinters while chopping wood to blinding dust and debris in a survival situation. Look for goggles that offer a snug fit and good impact resistance. You want something that will stay put, even in the thick of it. And don't forget about UV protection, especially in snowy or high-altitude environments. Remember, your eyesight is precious. Protect it at all costs. You never know when you'll need those peepers to spot that rescue helicopter or navigate your way back to safety. We've covered a lot of ground, haven't we? But surviving in the wild isn't always about having the shiniest, sharpest tools. Sometimes it's about brute strength and getting the job done. That's where a good pry bar comes in. Imagine stumbling upon an abandoned cabin, a potential goldmine of supplies. But the door, jammed tight. A pry bar gives you the leverage to pop that door open and see what's inside. Could be food, tools, or shelter from a storm. Remember, we're talking survival here. You need to be resourceful. A pry bar isn't just for opening doors. It can rip apart rotten floorboards for firewood, move heavy debris, or even help with some basic shelter building. Trust me, when the unexpected hits, a pry bar might be the difference between a good night's sleep and a night exposed to the elements. It's a simple tool with a surprising number of uses, and that's what makes it essential. Fire can be your best friend. It provides warmth, cooks your food, and keeps critters at bay. A wire saw is lightweight, compact, and efficient. It cuts through branches with surprising speed. In survival, every ounce counts. We all know the saying, "You are what you eat." In a prepper situation, it's more like, you survive by what you eat. Foraging for grubs and berries will only get you so far. A proper meal cooked over an open fire can make all the difference. That's where a good mess kit comes in. A compact mess kit is all you need to cook up a feast in the wild. With your trusty mess kit, you can cook that fish to perfection. A hot meal isn't just about satisfying hunger, it's about maintaining morale. We've talked about water filters, but sometimes those can break, get lost, or just not be available. Trust me, I've been there. That's when these little lifesavers come into play, and they are water purification tablets. These tablets are packed with a punch, using chemicals like chlorine dioxide or iodine to kill off those nasty microscopic critters lurking in even the clearest looking water. Remember, out here, looks can be deceiving. We're talking bacteria, viruses and parasites that can turn a simple drink into a survival nightmare. Always follow the instructions on the packaging though. Different tablets have different strengths and require different waiting times before the water is safe to drink. Patience, my friends, patience. Once that waiting time is up, you're looking at a much safer drink, increasing your chances of staying hydrated and staying alive in a tough spot. Getting lost can happen in an instant. One minute you're navigating through dense forest, the next you're turned around, disoriented, and facing a long night ahead. That's when a signal mirror becomes your best friend. This isn't just a shiny piece of plastic, mate. This is a lifeline. A simple signal mirror can reflect sunlight over incredibly long distances, attracting attention from potential rescuers, even those miles away. Now, using one does take a bit of practice. You need to aim the reflection properly to hit those distant eyes, but trust me, it's a skill worth mastering. Think of it as a more advanced version of those hand signals we talked about earlier. Darkness in the wilderness is a different beast altogether. It's disorienting, can mask dangers, and frankly it plays tricks on the mind. Having a reliable source of light is essential, and that's where the trusty hand crank flashlight comes in. Now, you might think, why not just use a regular flashlight as we discussed earlier? Well, batteries die, my friend, and finding replacements isn't exactly convenient in a disaster situation. A hand crank flashlight, however, relies on good old-fashioned human power. A few cranks of the lever and you've got yourself a beam of light to navigate through the darkness, signal for help, or simply provide a bit of comfort in the face of the unknown. Just remember to pace yourself. You don't want to exhaust yourself cranking when you need that energy for something else. Surviving isn't just about having the right tools, it's about knowing how to use them. When the mercury plummets, the emergency blanket is your best mate. This thing is engineered for survival. Reflects up to 90% of your body heat. Hypothermia can set in quick. Act fast, wrap yourself up tight. It's like a portable sauna in your pack. Use it as a makeshift shelter or signaling device. Every advantage counts. A simple emergency blanket can be the difference between a good night's sleep and a fight for survival. We've already talked about the importance of a good multi-tool, but trust me, two is always better than one. You never know when you might need a backup. This isn't about being over-prepared, it's about being ready for anything. In survival, redundancy is key. Okay, let's chat about something simple but very important, and that is rope. Not just any string, mind you, but proper, sturdy rope. Out here, in the wild, rope is more than just something to tie your shoelaces with. It's a lifeline, literally. You can use it to build a shelter, create a secure handhold when climbing, even fashion a makeshift splint if you're injured. Remember, improvisation is key to survival, and rope gives you that flexibility. Choose a rope that's strong, durable, and ideally weather-resistant. Trust me, when you need a solid length of rope, you'll be grateful you packed it. You might be surprised to see this one on the list, but listen up. A simple notebook and pen. In a survival situation, knowledge is power, and the ability to record information can be the difference between finding your way out and staying lost. Use your notebook to jot down landmarks, weather patterns, even those edible plants you've identified. It's easy to think you'll remember everything, but under pressure, details get fuzzy. Plus, a notebook can be a source of comfort. Use it to keep your spirits up by writing down your thoughts, plans, even just a few words to remind yourself of home. So there you have it, folks, the top 30 survival tools every prepper needs. Remember, it's not just about having the gear, it's about knowing how to use it. Get out there, practice your skills, and become familiar with your equipment. As we wrap up today's video, if you have any questions or if there are any topics that you would like discussed in the future, let us know in the comment section below. We love to get video ideas from the community. Let us know what you think of today's video as well. We always appreciate input. And be sure to like today's video and subscribe to the channel in order to be notified of the next prepper video we release. Check out the link in the description of the video for a $25 restaurant voucher as a thank you for subscribing to the channel. And as mentioned earlier, also check out the link in the description for a list of offers of free prepper gear and free prepper items to check out. And thanks for swinging by the Prepper Almanac today. It's appreciated.